smelling something, man. You gotta get him up, get him. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put Chase up, guys. I can't begin to explain to you what it's like to hunt alongside with birds of prey. It's an incredible gift and privilege of the one who made us. But I'm gonna go ahead and put him up, and he's a killing machine. He likes to hunt right alongside with Heidi, the German Shorthair. They got a good partnership going here, so maybe she'll kick up a rabbit for him. There she goes right now. All right, Chase, let's do it. Come on, Heidi. Need to get me a new flushing stick. Go, Chase, move up. Move up, Chase. Go. Very good. Now this time today, let's go down and try to bring them back around this way. Oh, there's a good flushing stick right there. I think I'm gonna grab this one. Perfect. Nice and long, light. You can get better than that. He's right there in position, you see him? He's right there. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Keep it on him, keep it on him, keep it on him. Change the location, we're pushing rabbits way on up. Okay, we gotta go, boys. Let's do it, come on. What? Oh, Heidi, Heidi. Good boy, Chase, good boy. Good boy. Good, good. That didn't take long, did it? It's okay, it's okay. Watch out, watch out. Yeah. Come here, Heidi. Come, come. Okay. Okay. Oh, good deal. Put this guy in the pouch. Yeah, how's that? Well, wasn't much of a hunt to that one. What happens when there's snow on the ground like this, they see so far ahead, and any little movement at all really stands out against the white background there on the against the snow, you know. So he must have seen this rabbit several hundred yards up ahead of us. As soon as I turned him loose, he changed positions, and it all happened within a matter of seconds. So Heidi and I spent most of the time just running and trying to catch up. So I went ahead and gave him a reward from the last time we were out, so I can keep the game in my pouch. And that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much. I've never had the chance to do something like this before, so I'm actually really excited to hear what you have to say, and we'll learn more about the film. I love watching
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for being here.
Amazing.
Okay.
And I just have to know how you got started on that and what led you to create it and how it all came about.
Well, that's a good place to start. I've been a masterclass falconer for 20 years or better now, and been flying birds of prey forever. And I always thought, since I was in the production business and have the ability to do so, that I wanted to be one of the first persons to tell a story about falconry through the eyes of a falconer, instead of it being from an outside perspective. I wanted the inside perspective, and so I kind of took it upon myself to do that. Ooh, nailed it. Nailed it. Good job, good job. Get down, buddy. Way to go. Way to go. That's the way to do it. The timing was kind of odd because I was dating a lady at the time, this was now my wife, and I had actually chose to get out of television production because I didn't feel it was conducive to a married lifestyle, because I was traveling all the time and chasing content and everything else. So I decided to be upfront with her. I said, look, I'm going to stop doing television. I'll do something else for a while. But there's one project that's really heavy on my heart right now, and it's Falconer Sport of Kings. I said, I want to produce my first feature film about falconry, and I've already started the project, and if you don't mind, I'd like to finish it. And she's like, oh, just one more film? Sure, no problem, one more film. So about 6 months later, after we got married, 6 months after we got married, I broke it to her. I said, okay, I'm going to go finish my film now. And she was like, okay, that's great. So where are you going this time? And I said, Mongolia. She's like, Mongolia? I said, yeah, we're going to Mongolia. And but the bad news is I'll be gone 6 weeks. And she's like, 6 weeks? And then I said, well, and the worst part of it is that for 4 of those weeks when we're in the mountains, there's no cell phone communication, no internet. We didn't even have satellite phones. Right. Okay, so that was a bit scary for her. And it was even scary for me too, because you don't really know what you're going to get into. It all looks good on paper. You're making the plans and everything else, but when you actually get there, you're in a whole different world. And then with the language barriers and everything else that are in place, it's a little scary. So she felt it, I felt it, but I was committed to do the project, and we followed through with it.
So this has been a really long-term project. When did you start?
I think it took me from concept to actual finished product. I think it was between 4.5 and 5 years.
Okay. Yeah. So in your film, you have quite a few birds, and I know you said you were going to be releasing the kestrel, but I wonder if you still have Chase, the red-tail, and if there are any other birds of prey that you're working with. Well,
Chase was my favorite game hawk. Had him for 13 years. And yes, we did release the kestrel. That was also a little bit heartbreaking for me, but I fly multiple birds. A lot of times I just trap them, hunt them one season, turn them loose, try not to get too attached, Don't really feel like they belong to us anyway. We're just sharing an experience, and then they deserve to go back to the wild at some points.
So for the trip from Mongolia to Indianapolis, how long was it from door to door?
Oh, that's it. I know it took, I think 2.5 days, maybe, and 2.5 days just to get to the capital. And then, of course, we had to, once we got there and figured out that, we really needed to be someplace completely different. What are you doing?
Filming.
This is what we do when we get
In an airport.
We're stuck in an airport for 12 hours. Layover. 14 hours layover. How many hours are you on now?
I don't know. I was just saw the rabbit plane.
A lot more than 14 hours. When I left the house, we went to the airport, Indianapolis to Chicago O'Hare to San Francisco, all with, layovers, obviously. And then from San Francisco to Beijing, China, there's only one flight from Beijing to Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital of Mongolia, per day. There's only one. So I spent the night at the airport. We didn't have visas to leave the airport anyway, so we just basically spent the night on at a restaurant. We had some dinner and just fell asleep and woke up the next morning. Oh, we got to catch a flight. Flew into the capital of Ulaanbaatar. There we were met with our crew there. And after we were on the ground there for several days, we figured out that we really needed to be in a province called Bayonolgi, which was all the way across Mongolia, near the little triangle near Russia, Kazakhstan, and Mongolia. You could actually see the borders from each country where we were at, way up in the mountains and then down in the plains. So yeah, it was, by the time you add the additional flight from the prop plane to Bayonolgi, we added an extra day of time. So a total, if you add it all up, was 3.5 days before we actually got to the village where the Eagle Masters lived. Well, we just left the Genghis Khan International Airport. We're headed into the heart of the city of Ulaanbaatar to hook up with some of our contacts here who are going to help us dig up the culture and history of the sport of falconry here in Mongolia. And with a little luck, we may even run into an Eagle Master that we may be able to spend some time with and hopefully share a hunt too. So let the adventure begin.
And how did that miscommunication happen? How did you accidentally end up in the wrong side of the country?
Yeah, it was my research. I mean, I was the one researching, and it just slipped. Yeah. I did not really realize that the Eagle Masters that were there near the city were more commercialized. They were more of the, people would tip them or give them money to go out and fly the birds and do different things, but the culture wasn't really there. They weren't doing it full time. It wasn't a part of their lifestyle. It was something that they had adapted and learned and brought to the city. So it wasn't really an authentic experience that I was looking for as an apprentice to an Eagle Master. Right. So we found that out by walking around the city and talking to different people, and we finally figured out that, hey, you need to be over there.
The Eagle Masters have been training with eagles for thousands of years, so they're true Eagle Masters, and I wanted to learn firsthand from them.
One of our translators decided, look, there's a museum over here, the Museum of Science, and she says, why don't I go in there and I'll show you a map of the country, or figure out a way that you can get a visual on where you need to be, and then we can start making some decisions. And so that's what we did. We went to the State Museum.
Okay, we stopped by the Natural History Museum here in Ulaanbaatar, and what we've got here in front of us looks like a topographical remake of the region of Mongolia. Hulan, can you explain to us where we're at right now?
Yeah.
On this?
We are right here. It's
the red dot right here, this Ulaanbaatar here? Okay, and just to give you guys a perspective on where we're going to be, if we are here, where are we flying to the province? What is the name again?
Bayonolgi.
Bayonolgi. Okay.
That's about here.
Way over there in the mountain regions. Okay, so and you think it's about 1,700 or 1,800 miles between these 2 points. Okay, and you can tell the mountains over here seem to be a lot taller, like a lot bigger, larger mountains than currently we are seeing here around the city. Is that correct? Okay, so once we fly in, it's pretty obvious we're going to have to either use SUVs or horseback probably to get up into these mountains then.
Yeah.
Is that correct, too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that ought to give you an idea of what's coming up here tomorrow. We did manage to get some flights out to help me one more time. Bionolge?
Bayanolge.
Bionolge. We did manage to get flights, believe it or not, and we are heading out tomorrow.
Wow. And so you just made it work, because it seems like that could have been the end of it, possibly, if you hadn't been able to.
Oh,
figure
yeah,
out where
for
you-
sure. Yeah. There wouldn't have been a story to tell. Had it stopped there, it would have just been a whole lot of expense and a whole lot of disappointment. Yeah.
Right. So your title is Royal Falconer. I'm guessing that's not very common, and that was a very specific situation. How did you gain that title?
Once this movie was completely finished, I decided I knew I had something. We come back with, I think, 27 hours of raw film, and all of it was good. There wasn't anything that we didn't think we were going to use, but you can't use 27 hours of raw film. So we chopped it all down to a 70-minute feature, and that's one of the reasons why it took so long to be able to tell this story. That is definitely a major honor for me, and I don't really talk about it too much because it actually came about much after the film was made, and I decided to submit it to film festivals. And we had submitted it to several film festivals here in the United States. The very first film festival that I submitted it to, we won Best Overall.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm opening this letter, at my house. I'm reading it. I was like, are you kidding me? I could not believe it. So we really knew we had something at that point because it was the first festival. So we submitted to 3 other festivals here in the United States, and we won, or placed in each one. And about 6 months after, during this process, I asked my wife, I said, if there's any place that you ever would think that we could go to, any place you've never been in the world, that if I found a film festival there and submitted it, and we happened to be, selected, and we went to represent the film, where would you like to go? And both of us have traveled a lot, so that's why I asked the question. And she said, Spain. One of the places I've never been is Spain. I've always wanted to go to Spain. And I said, okay. So I started looking on the internet, and I started looking around, and I found Madrid International Film Festival, one of the largest film festivals in Europe. So we submitted to it and just forgot about it. And so I'm working, and a couple months later, I got a notification that the film was selected for Best Director and Best Feature Documentary.
Wow.
So we went to the film festival, and our very first experience upon getting to the official hotel is we've got our bags, and we're going up into our room, and I look to my left, and I know I recognize her, and I look to the right, and gosh, I recognize him, and on my left was Alice Krige from Star Trek. I was a big fan of Star Trek back in the day, yeah, so she's on my left here, and I look to the right, that's Danny Baldwin here on the right, and it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, how do we get here, right? We said hello to everybody. We met them. They were very nice and everything. Went to our rooms. And long story short, okay, we started screening films, and I really didn't feel like I had a chance to be there. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I don't know how we ended up here. These are some really, really good films here. It was great to be nominated. And even my wife's patting me on the back. Yeah, for sure. And look, let's just have fun. We're here. I said, okay. So I started looking up on places to go, and I've always been a big fan of martial arts and sword making and these kind of things. So we chose to take the high-speed train down to Toledo, Spain. Mm-hmm. We took a high-speed train down to Toledo, and we went and visited all the silver craftsman shops where they're making swords and knives and all these things. And we spent 2 or 3 days there just having a blast.
Let's go.